Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Here we go. Another week. Welcome in. Welcome into the newest edition. Hood Money. It's your guy, Benny Boone, back at it. You know what I'm saying? We temporarily under construction out here, but we working with it to give you what you need. Last week featured so a lot of winners, some good winners. You know what I'm saying? Two teams would have pulled it out for me. It would have been a real good week. But every week's a good week when you call the winners to get the double digit wins. That was one of the things we wanted to do was to get the double digits for the season. Obviously, it gets you to 18 wins, 18 weeks, 18 wins. That would be spectacular. So we got 5 more weeks to get that done, and the over under on that is yes plus 55, no minus 135. So the pretty good odds with me. You know what I'm saying? Let's get into it on the recap board. As you can see from last week. Um, it was an interesting week. Like I said, two teams would have came through for us. The Colts and the Eagles. Eagles finally got that long streak against the NFC. Smash last week against the Eagles. Top flight team. You know what I'm saying? It was a good matchup. It was a good game. The Eagles proved to be too much, which like I said, the NFC East is the best division of football. So it was bound. If it was going to happen, it was going to happen to them. It was bound to happen. The Colts also, as you see, the Colts, they definitely, even though they won, they pulled out the win. As you can see down here, this would have been a winning parlay, but the Colts, as you see, we took the spread over the money line, 2.5 points. Didn't seem like a lot, but all they had to do was win by more than one or two, and they won by one. So that doesn't count as a winner, but we did get the winner here. As you see, the Seahawks, Bills, Packers, and Bucks, they all cover for us, and made sure we got the double-digit wins for the season. You know what I'm saying? So as we jump into this week, we looking, like I said, to get that 8. And last week we had another AFC team punch their playoff ticket in the Bills. MVP leading Josh Allen and the Bills. They've taken care of business this year. They're one game out, and they hold the tiebreak against the Chiefs, so that's going to be interesting. Chiefs clinched the playoff spot. They have not clinched their division, but they do have a chance to clinch the division this week against the Chargers. So that will be an interesting matchup. And with that said, let's get into the big board. There it is. That's right, the big board. You know what I'm saying? Take that on in. I'm gonna give you a chance to take it all in, see what it look like. You know what I'm saying? These gonna be the matchups for week 14 coming at you. Starting this Thursday, tonight we have a divisional matchup between the Lions and the Packers. All right, the Lions have been on the road with that number one offense. The trade for Green Bay to get Smith over there to replace Hutchinson has worked out well. The rest of the defense has been humming. The coach is solid over there. The Lions have been solid all year, only losing one time. They will be going and trying to extend that winning streak they got. It's pretty impressive so far. The Packers come in second place in that division, trying to get to first place. They would need this win to achieve that. Jordan Love and them, they look pretty solid. Even with that trade, the D still looks pretty solid, and the Packers will be making the playoffs this year. I do not, however, have them winning this game going into the Detroit. On that turf out there at night with that fan base, I have the Lions winning this game, both on the spread and on the money line to keep with that number one seed. I'm glad that Detroit finally has a winner. As I said earlier in the year, they've been looking forward to that for a long time. I think the trade has worked out, even though they have yet to get to the Super Bowl. Hey, you never know, they might do. They, at this point, have a much better chance than the Rams, who they traded their quarterback to. Next matchup is much less interesting. It's the Titans versus the Jaguars. The The Titans got walloped last week by the Commanders. Jaguars lost to the Texans last week and also lost their quarterback, Trevor Lawrence. He suffered a concussion, already dealing with injuries, and he is going to be done for the year. So Mac Jones will be the quarterback going forward. The Titans look to be leaning on Will Levis going forward. They're going to look to give him a shot and see if he can pick up some W's, perhaps. I see him getting this win. I see the Titans picking this win up in a battle of teams not making the playoffs. I would take the Titans on the money line. All right, another divisional matchup. We've got the Jets. We've got the Dolphins. This is an interesting matchup here. The Dolphins are trying to fight to stay in the playoff hunt. AFC, most of the playoff spots are all but locked up except for that last one. Denver holds the last one. And the Dolphins, with some losses here and there, will be in striking distance and with a lot of wins on their end. The Jets are going nowhere fast. Rodgers wants to play another year. Who knows who will employ him? At this point, I'm going to take the Dolphins to continue rolling. Tua's been solid since he's come back from the concussion protocol. He's looked good. The offenses look good. Tyreek has been scoring lately. I'm going to stick with the Dolphins to win this game. All right, our next matchup features the Falcons and Vikings. Falcons versus Vikings. Vikings currently in third place in that very, very tough NFC North. Looks like they'll be sending 3 teams to the playoffs this year. The Falcons are struggling. The Falcons, the NFC, much tighter than the AFC. Nobody is clinching the NFC, and there are several middling teams that have a chance to pick people off. Tampa Bay will look to be a big player, both in their division and in the wild card race. The Falcons, they're in first place currently. Don't know where they're going to be at the end of the season. They're hearing Michael Penix's chance, and I would be with them because Kirk Cousins is not looking impressive. He looks like the same Kirk Cousins that went to Minnesota and messed that team of young, aspiring athletes up altogether. Kirk Cousins has only actually won 1 playoff game in his 13 years as a quarterback. Just side note, I will take the Vikings at home to get it done and to keep that NFC South race interesting. All right, our next matchup, 2 teams that will most likely miss the playoffs, the Saints versus the Giants. The Giants have gone with DeVito. DeVito has not looked good, looks uninspired. The team looks like they're looking forward to next season. The Saints still have a long outside shot of making the playoffs somehow if they were to win their division somehow. The way that will work out, even though the record is so many games under 500. I mean, but they do have a shot, and I believe they'll pick up a win to keep that glimmer of hope alive. I believe it's going to be a fight between the Giants and the Raiders to see who gets that number 1 pick. I don't believe either one of those teams will win again this year, so I'll be betting against them accordingly. I will take the Saints on the money line. Okay, our next matchup features the Packers versus the Eagles. The Panthers versus the Eagles. Panthers are the Panthers. What can you say? They they had a couple wins, and then they lost a close game. It looks like they're gonna lose a game that won't be nearly as close, according to me in the bookie. The largest spread on the board, -13. So I do not like taking those big spreads. And I will continue to not like those big spreads because it seems like when I take them, even when I do take them, it doesn't turn out. So we're going to we're going to take the Panthers. We're going to take the Panthers to cover the spread, definitely not to win the game. The Eagles will win that game going away. Our next matchup features the Browns playing the Steelers in Pittsburgh this time. A couple of Thursday nights ago, they went to Cleveland. Looked like they were going to secure a win, and then Mother Nature decided to bring the snow and threw the whole deal off there for Pittsburgh. They ended up losing to Cleveland, and even though they're still in first, made that AFC Northwest a lot closer. Ravens within 1 game. I believe the Steelers will win this game. That spread was 2.5. This spread is 6.5. I believe the Steelers will cover that. They will remember what happened, and they usually do beat the Browns most often than not in that series. So I would take the Browns. I would take the Steelers against the Browns. All right, our next matchup is a Super Bowl matchup from back in the day, the Raiders versus the Buccaneers. John Gruden switched teams from the Raiders to the Buccaneers and won. That was the team that had Tim Brown and Jerry Rice, his last go in the playoffs. With Rich Gannon and them, didn't work out so well for the Raiders. I don't believe this is going to work out well for them either. Baker Mayfield has looked a lot better since getting one of his two receivers back, and Mike Evans been spreading that ball around. The running game has looked excellent all year. The defense is tight, and I see them pulling, like I said, the Raiders and the Giants will be fighting for the number one pick. I don't believe either one will win a game, so I'm going with the Buccaneers. All right, our next matchup features the Seahawks versus the Cardinals. All right, this is going to be an interesting matchup in that very, very tight NFC West. The Seahawks are coming off a win. The Cardinals are coming off a loss. Actually, the Cardinals are coming off a win. The week previous to this week, they played in Seattle, and Seattle came away with that win and a low-scoring game. This week, they will be in Arizona. Arizona will be looking to try to move up in that race. I actually like the Seahawks on the plus money. I didn't take this game. It's going to be extremely close. It's going to be most likely to decide who's going to win that division now. And I would go with the Seahawks to end up taking this division. Our next matchup would be the Bills versus the Rams. The Bills, like I said, MVP, Josh Allen. Defense looks nice. Amari Cooper hasn't been as efficient as they would have thought, but Khalil Shakir has come on. Coleman needs to get out there, and James Cook has been a scoring machine for them all year. They'll be playing the Rams. The Rams and previously mentioned Matthew Stafford won the Rams the Super Bowl a few years back and never has regained that same form, even though his weapons are now back in Nakua and Cup and Kyron Williams, the running back. Of course, no Aaron Donald this year, which has hurt the defense. Defense has been steady. The Rams have been steady. The Rams are trying to sneak in there to win that division as well, and they're within the game. But I am going to take the Bills to keep it rolling as they look to secure the number one seed if the Chiefs should somehow stumble down the stretch. The next game features the Bears and the Niners in the conference matchup. The Niners have one of those teams that disappointed for me this year, mostly because of injuries, mostly because of McCaffrey, regarded as the best running back in the league, has not really played this year due to plethora of injuries, and also the number one receiver getting hurt, and Debo staying in and out of the lineup because of injuries. It's been one of those seasons. They'll be looking to be respectable, as they are a respectable franchise. I don't believe the Niners will tank. The Bears fired their coach last week. They've lost 4 games in fashions that they probably shouldn't have, and somebody would have had to get fired, especially after last week. They fought hard on Thanksgiving, only for them to run the clock out with 1 timeout left on the game-tying drive, and they were in field goal range. And then what probably got the coach fired was the next day he said that they did everything right, which was very wrong. And so he's gone. The Bears play the Niners in San Francisco, and I'm going to take the Niners to go ahead and win that game on the money line. All right, the Sunday night matchup is one of the bigger matchups of the week, featuring the Chiefs at home playing the Chargers. The Chargers got a big win last week. The Chiefs kept it rolling last week. Like I said, if the Chiefs win this game, they could actually lose every game and still win their division. But of course, they are shooting for that number one seed to have the Super Bowl run through Kansas City. They have previously beat the Chargers in San Diego earlier this year in the low-scoring affair. I think this is pretty much about the same, except for there's probably a little more points scored. It will be a little chilly out there. I do think that affects West Coast teams at this point in the season, and I'm going to take the Chiefs to win that game. All right, our Monday night matchup is an interesting matchup. The Bengals and the Cowboys, both teams have very much underachieved this year. This would have been a big matchup at maybe week Could be preseason, week one maybe, it will start a bit, but now it's a matchup of teams that will not make the playoffs this year. Both teams have experienced injuries and shuffling of the lineups. Like I said, Cowboys running game isn't that great. Don't have the starting quarterback. I do look for Joe Burrow and the Bengals to win this matchup. Although I'm going to take the Cowboys to cover that spread at home. I look for the game to be played within 6 points. And so I will take the Cowboys to cover the spread. All right. Heading to the parlay segment, parlay time. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we got guaranteed winners down there for you for this week. Back-to-back guaranteed winners, won't be any more going forward because all the games will be super close and the matchups will be wild. And we're just gonna try to get through them and make sure we pick them off as best we can. All right, so my first parlay will be the Dolphins on the money line, the Steelers on the money line, the Bills on the money line, and the Chiefs on the money line. My second parlay would be the Saints on the money line, the Titans on the money line, the Cowboys with the spread, and the Panthers with the spread. Parlay 3 will feature the Vikings on the money line, the Niners with the spread, the Buccaneers on the money line, and the Lions with the spread, and that guaranteed parlay down there. Somehow I'm just feeling these 5 teams recently. We got the Lions on the money line, we got the Steelers on the money line, we got the Chiefs on the money line, we got the Bills on the money line, and we locked it in with the Buccaneers all on the money line, you know what I'm saying? So, over-unders for this week, we got the Jets and Miami game going over. We got the Detroit and Green Bay game going over. We got the Giants and the Saints game going under. We're going to go ahead and take that under on that one. And for the other two, we're going to take the overs. We're going with the Bills and the Rams on the over, and Tampa Bay and Las Vegas on the over. They usually score a whole lot of points when those two teams get together for some reason. And so that's why we're going to do that. All right, there you have it. Another week of picks, you know what I'm saying? We'd like to thank everybody for watching, you know what I'm saying? Like, subscribe. We like to hear your comments, you know. We like to hear the funny stuff. We like to hear the serious stuff. You know, we're going to try satisfy as much as we can, you know, get as much out here to you as we possibly can to get you ready every week. So, you know, you can win and then go spend, you know what I'm saying? You can play and then go get paid. So that's what it's all about here, Hood Money. Thanks once again for checking in with your boy. And like I say, always and as usual, yeah, let's get this money.